and then I just smack my face. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna, in case you didn't know, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do this very, very easy makeup look that is very glowy, very fun, very summery, that I have been doing almost every day. So let's get started. The first item I'm going to go in with is the Got To Be Glued spiking glue, which I use for my eyebrows. The reason I do this one first is because I don't want any powder to stick to this while it's still tacky, so I want to give it time to dry. Apply a little bit onto a spoolie brush, and then I rake it through my eyebrows upward. I've been really enjoying that like very fluffy eyebrow look. I think part of me really likes it as well because, you know, I used to be really insecure of my thick eyebrows, but now so many other people are like, hey, I want thick eyebrows. So I'm like, okay, well, this trend makes them look big and bushy and beautiful, and you know what? I'm here for that. So it's really exciting to sort of learn to love your features, at least. I mean, not all of them, don't get me wrong, we're still working on it, but I really like my eyebrows, so this makes me feel extra confident in them. Alright, and then I usually just press them down a little bit to make sure there's not too much product on them, and also laminate them a little extra. The eyebrows are done, we can move on to some concealer. I use the Glossier, what's this called? The Glossier Stretch Concealer. I have this in G11. I will let you know that it is fairly sheer concealer. You can build it up, but more importantly, it is a very oily concealer. So if you have oily skin, you might not like this. And also you do really have to be careful of which mascaras you're using because it will smudge, I don't know, 95% of them. I do really like it. It feels very natural on the skin, which I appreciate. I just go in with a little brush and I start applying that to my under eye. I do this concealer technique that has been sort of trending right now, where you put some on either side of your eye because it lifts your face. And I honestly do see a difference. I think it works quite well. Then I'm just gonna spot conceal some pimples and acne scars that I have. Right now my skin's pretty good, but I had a really big breakout the first heat wave of the summer, so we're recovering still, but I'll be alright, I think. I'm gonna blend that in with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Wow, that looks like, I don't know if you can tell, but in this lighting it looks so orange for my skin, but I swear it's the right color. Then I basically just attack my face, rubbing concealer in and stippling a little bit as well. I do a mix just to make sure that it blends extra well. Honestly, like, I take way less time to do this when I'm not filming it. When I'm not filming, I basically have already done my makeup. Here we go, concealer is all blended in, I hope. Next I'm gonna go in with another cream product before I believe we move to powder. So I'm gonna go in with, again, Glossier. I love Glossier, I love the natural look. I kind of have dry to combo skin, so I really like having a more moisturizing, dewy product. So this is Cloud Paint in Storm, and the reason I'm choosing this color is because if you look at the lipstick I'm gonna be using, they're very similar, so I feel like it really wraps the whole look together. So for this, I just put some on my finger. I just go right under my cheekbones. Ooh, I put way too much on one side and not enough on the other. And then I just smack my face. No kidding, this is just what I do. I think this blush is such a nice natural color for everyone. It's very much like, I'm just blushing. I swear, it's
completely natural.
Are we even? Are we blended? No, we're not. Okay, so now that I've got a little bit of that on, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, I also did just wipe off the remaining blush on my fingers on my eyelids. I don't know, I think that's another thing that kind of ties it all together. I'm gonna move on to powder. I'm using the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder in the lightest color, I believe. Oh, I left it open. I hate when I do this because then it just gets everywhere. Give me a moment. I worked out my powder problem. I've put a little bit into the cap here and I'm just going to dip my brush into it. Maybe that was too much, but we'll see. And go ahead and start setting my under eyes, partially because of the oiliness of the concealer. I really focus on my under eyes and just above a little bit as well, so that my mascara doesn't smudge. Then I'm gonna go in with a light amount of powder, I say, and then put a ton on my brush and hit the other parts of my face that get quite oily. So I know here gets quite oily, a little bit on my nose, and especially my forehead. Next, we're gonna use bronzer. I'm using the Quo Beauty bronzer bronzing powder in Honey Glow. Honey Glow. I don't know why my voice did that. Honey Glow number 1. I just go all over my nose because this is basically gonna lay down a foundation for the freckles I'll be adding. So then I just go right above the blush and over the nose and back over here. I add a little extra in the middle of my nose because I feel like that's most often where people have the most freckles, and I mean that's where like the sun hits, so I want to emphasize that the most, as if I have been tanned on that spot. And then to make sure that the bronzer isn't just like here, I take some on a fluffy brush and add some into the creases of my eyes. And then I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more of the bronzer sort of on the high points of my face up here. I cannot tell if this is even. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Okay, we're almost done. I'm gonna use the ColourPop highlighter in Flexitarian. It's called the Super Shock Cheek Pearlized. That's such a long name, but it's their highlighter in Flexitarian. So then I just go to the very top of my cheekbone and add some there, and then I go right in between my eyes, and then a little bit on the tip of my nose. This is usually where I'll use my finger to make it pop, and then blend upward so I connect those two spots a little. I add a little bit of that highlight just on the inner corner, and that's basically like my eyeshadow. It's just bronzer, leftover blush, and this highlighter. For me, I want a little bit more oomph, so I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite products of all time, and that is Freck. I start off in the middle of my nose and I do like a little constellation of 3 or 4, and then I take my finger and I dab that around. And I basically repeat this process until I am freckly. That is my skin all done, and we've only got a few steps left, so bear with me here. I swear this is faster when you just do it really quick. Time for mascara. I use the Doll Eye Mascara by NYX right now, but I think it might be discontinued because I bought one from the store and then it was on sale there. And then I started looking it up online because I was like, oh, I really like this. Let's maybe order some more or something. And I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm using a tubing mascara, and that is because of the oilier concealer that I use. A tubing mascara will not smudge with it. It's basically a mascara that forms around your lashes. When you're taking it off, you use a bit of warm water and it will come off in tubes, and that's why it's called tubing. Just something to keep in mind if you don't like smudging. So for this, you can really just do mascara however you like. I usually don't put a ton of mascara on the bottom anyways, but I'll just do a little bit to get rid of any concealer that has coated my lower lashes. And then I move to the other side. Ow! Bee just hit my window. Actually, it was probably a wasp, let's be real. There are so many wasps here. I don't like it. Oh, there's like one eyelash that's kind of like going in the opposite direction. Then just the lipstick. So this is the Quo Beauty Lip Crayon in Autumn Valley 56. I don't know why it's called Autumn Valley because those pink tones really just remind me of Italy. So I could be completely wrong. That's just my opinion. Here is the final look. I think it is just so summery. I love the way that the bronzer and the freckles really make you look quite sun-kissed, and how the blush ties in to the more fun lip, and that the look as a whole is quite natural but is still interesting with the lip and the blush and the dimension that the freckles and bronzer and highlight gives you. I'm just really happy with how this turns out every morning, so I thought I would share with you guys, and hopefully it will be an easy thing for you to recreate. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I would love to know in the comments below what is a fun summer activity you have done this year. I hope summer has been a little bit more normal for you, and things are looking up. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye.